there's so many serious stories, I wouldn't know kind of where to begin. The Chinese missile thing, and there's so many things that are out there. But I thought what was interesting, and Bob and you and I briefly talked about this, about the Dollar Tree thing, but the video won't load, so we're not going to be able to talk about that. It's funny how, when you're streaming, certain videos won't work. But let me ask you the question about like the Dollar Tree thing, because Dollar Tree kind of represents our like an inflation barometer about where we're at on things. You guys have heard, obviously, Dollar Tree's talking about kind of becoming more like a Family Dollar. Well, they're owned by the kids. They're owned by the same company, I believe, as, let me get this straight. Family Dollar and Dollar Tree are the same, but Dollar General is separate. So I assume Dollar Tree is going to try to move more in their direction, where you'll see price points of, $1.50, $2, $3, those kinds of things. Mm-hmm. And you're seeing a lot of really poor people that are really, and there's a video, and like I said, I can't get it to load. It's just got some weird box over it. So maybe they removed it at the source, but it was a lady basically talking about, I don't think it's right that they raise their prices. And we're like, yeah, wonder who you voted for. What are your thoughts on like where we're at with some of the inflation? And am I right with looking at these low dollar retail chains that are servicing people as a good barometer of inflation? Because that's, my wife has anecdotally talked about empty shelves in these places. Like she's been there, like, oh well, I can't get, she'll buy like cleaners. We're in there regularly buying like house cleaners and different different things. Like she needed plastic containers. She got those here recently and things like that. So she'll go in and like there's nothing there. They've been wiped out. So I don't know. Am I off base with that being a good barometer, Alex? What do you think? Is there a better barometer? Because I don't believe the government. I'd rather just try to find something I could be a little more tangible with.
I think it is a good barometer. If the Dollar Tree, because I mean their name says Dollar Tree, everything in there's a dollar. So I think if they're going to have to raise their prices, you're changing the business model of that place entirely. And I actually happen to go to Dollar Tree a lot myself. And I buy a lot of cleaners and stuff there too, because they got some good prices. And if I need stuff in a hurry, I can go get it there. But it is a good barometer. And I do feel bad for those people. And, when you hear stories like that, and then you hear the press say that, inflation's a high rent problem, not a low rent problem. It's obvious that they're just lying, and you're seeing things like this that actually prove that out, that lower end people for the most part are the ones that shop at Dollar Tree. People that are in the lower end of the economic spectrum. So if they're seeing their prices increase there, that's really going to hurt them, because they really can't afford it. But again, the people in Congress don't care. They just don't care. If they cared, they wouldn't actually do what they're doing, but they are. So,
Yeah. So. Yeah. Bob, your thoughts?
Well, I'm not surprised. Everybody else is raising their prices. So Dollar Tree would not be immune. In order for them to make a profit with the increased costs, they're going to have to raise their prices. So no big surprise. Maybe it does surprise a lot of people because of the name of the store, but if they want to stay in business, that's one of the few stores in the country that has really multiplied over the years. While you see a lot of these stores vanishing, Dollar Tree increases by hundreds or thousands every year. So they serve a purpose. But yeah, and just a short note on the inflation part, because I'm hearing people on the news, doesn't matter what TV channel I watch, they want to blame the inflation on the supply chain. They want to blame it on this and that. Unfortunately, none of them are right, and none of them are blaming it on the increasing of the money supply. And I would love to hear somebody in mainstream media discuss that, because that's where we're at. That's why we're having inflation. Hey, bro, you're
No, hang on. I'm sorry. I hit the little button so I could have a drink.
At least we knew it was user error.
It was user this time. It was user. Well, it's user most of the time. So I was just saying that I don't think any of us would be expecting anyone in mainstream media to have that in their wheelhouse and be able to have a conversation about the Fed. Like, there's just no chance I believe that. Maybe certain guests could be on a show and they would bring that to the table, but they're not going to be asked back. That's not going to be their idea of inflation, and having conversations about it is deflecting political damage to the people in power right now. That's all I see right now. So maybe if there's a topic or something that gets a little bit more, maybe gas prices will do that, because I saw them jump again, like another 10 cents today. Like I saw 3.29. So that starts to be the kind of thing where they can't ignore that in the press. Like, it gets to a certain point where that's everybody will start talking about it, and that will be very, very soon, in my opinion. I think if it gets remotely around 350, you'll really start seeing people talking about that.
Well, it's already well above $5 in California. So
we don't talk about California. I don't even know why they're still here.
Well, if I was there, I'd be pretty ticked off over $5.
Don't they pay $3 in taxes in California on their gas? I bet if I look at it,
yes.
I think gas tax in California is like $3.
Yeah, well, that's why it's $2 more than us.
That's insane.
Yeah. But I would say, though, I did see there's a guy on talk cable news named Dan Bongino. You ever heard of him?
Absolutely. He's all over Rumble. He's really huge on Rumble. I don't know what else he's on.
Yeah, he's a very loud, boisterous, kind of guy.
He's kind of a Limbaugh surrogate. He's kind of filled some gaps for some of those fans.
But he was wise enough to have Peter Schiff on his show last weekend.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Peter's been on a few shows. He did a Rogan episode that was terrible because he wasn't there in studio, and it streamed, so it would have all those pauses and stuff, and that's the worst, man. If it's like that's not how Rogan's show operates.
Right. But if you dig back in Rogan's programs, there is Peter live with him too.
Sure.
Where you can find that. It's very, very good.
Alex, when we talk about inflation and these low dollar stores like Dollar Tree, Dollar General, let me throw, obviously, Family Dollar. Would we put maybe Big Lots in there? I don't know. What are the clothing? What's it? No. What would be like the next group? What's the other items that people need? So Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Family Dollar is really like the bottom. Then there's like another tier right above it, but it's still well below general retail. So I'm just trying to create that next little tier of, it's not $1, but it's stuff it's significantly less expensive. People can get, like, for instance, like Ollie's and Big Lots, you can get like furniture significantly cheaper than you could get it at some of these other places, things like that. I mean, are there other retailers that are a good identifier of this low dollar inflationary impact?
I'm trying to think off the top of my head right now. And you're right in the way that I put Dollar Tree at the bottom. I put Family Dollar and Dollar General just above them. Yeah. And then I would put Ollie's and Big Lots above that. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I know there's another one out there, but I just can't think of the name of it for the life of me right now. And then I would go with go above that with normal retail.
I think with food, maybe Save a Lot.
Very good call there. Yeah, Save a Lot's good. And there's actually some still. I know where I live. There's actually a lot more smaller chains. Like because you have Winn-Dixie / Harvey's, but then you also have like there's little independent ones, more like one's called Hitchcock's. They're up near me. I know when I traveled up north, there's still a Piggly Wiggly. There's still some smaller, little grocery chains that are more like going to a Save a Lot than they are. And Aldi, I'm gonna throw Aldi into this little gray area where they kind of have an overlap there of grocery. They're not quite Save a Lot because it's like better quality than Save a Lot, but it's actually cheaper than, like, let's say even Publix is. So, all right, well, that's good inflationary talk. I mean, I don't know if there's any hope to see some of that reverse anytime soon, but. Oh, Alex Snicker, weekly, the unattended baggage co-host.
Hey, we're News Talk with Brandon and Bob. We're here to tell you about some of the facts so you don't have to waste your time watching CNN.
We don't want you wasting any time with CNN.
Or Fox, or MSNBC, or some of these other guys that are making a whole lot of money.
Et cetera, et cetera.
He's not paying.